Hello and welcome to the Power First program. As part of Deloitte Management Consulting Partnership with the International Olympic Committee, we are thrilled to bring you an inside look in what powers the Olympic Games. My name is Gineva and I'm a partner with Deloitte in Switzerland, focusing on digital strategy and enablement. I'm delighted to be joined by Ilario Corna, Chief Technology Information Officer at the IOC, and John Tweardy, Deloitte's lead consulting partner for the International Olympic Committee. This is another Future Of panel, and today we are driving into a very exciting topic about artificial intelligence and how it's changing the world of business and sport. A question to get us going. How can AI make both a short-term and a long-term impact in a non-sport business environment?
I'll take that one. Thanks, Ilario. Good to see you. Short-term, AI, first let's start with AI has been here a long time. So it shouldn't be a surprise. We've been doing machine learning, we've been doing automation. But in the short term, I think you want to think of sort of GBT, generation AI, and some of the power that that can have. In the short term, my advice would be to explore that. Don't be afraid of it. Use it because it's sort of democratized the language of AI to be English. And so now I can get the power of AI with the English language. And so exploring that space in GBT, exploring how it's useful, how it augments you, I think that's really exciting. So that's from a corporation and from businesses, I think you need to incubate. I think you need to get out there, try new things, put tests on, sort of have a small, fast projects to see where it works, in what part of the business it works, and then you can move to scale. And last, I think it's about preparing for the future a little bit. This is going to be disruptive, so it's not the time to wait and see, it's the time to prepare. And so maybe that moves a bit to the long term, Ilario.
Thank you very much, JT, and thank you for being here today with you, Nina and JT. I think for the long term, you're absolutely right, JT. It is like we need to look at how do you prepare the organizations for this new disruption that we have that is coming right now. Therefore, it is really important to prepare all your organizations, have the right structure in place, have the right organizations, and actually also the people that you need to have, or augment the knowledge of these people that need to be here with us. So it's going to be really fantastic to see.
Very exciting. And Ilario, a question to you. Delivering a mega event anywhere has a lot of complexity, and delivering the Paris Olympics is even more complex. What are some of the things or some of the ways that AI is being utilized to enhance the delivery and to enhance the experience in the Olympic Games?
Well, this is a great question. We are here now in Paris, and we are going to see all of what we have done. We have done some project already. We incubated, as JT mentioned before, we incubated some of these projects into delivery of Paris, the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. Some of them are example for the preparation up to the Olympic Games. We use digital twinning and use AI to really mimic how the venue we're going to look, what path were people going to take. And so we optimized that, even not being in Paris. We actually did that from afar. So now today we are here and we actually can experience all of these new paths that we found. Other way that we have done it, it is we actually created chatbots for the athletes. So we are going to deploy Athletes 365, a new application that all the athletes will have with themselves. And they will be able to ask questions because, as you mentioned, Olympic Games are complicated. So all the rules that we have, athletes can be able now to chat with a chatbot and actually get an answer immediately, not kind of go through all the documents and try to figure out what can do and what they cannot do.
Okay, so JD, how will Deloitte support IOC the delivery of games and help implement AI?
Well, we're really excited about all the opportunities to support the IOC, but maybe more importantly, sports and the movement, which we think is one of our charters. Let me take a step back. Deloitte right now is making a tremendous investment around the world in AI. We think it's a disruptive technology, but with that, an incredible opportunity. In fact, it disrupts us as much as it disrupts industries and sports, like any industry. We'll have an opportunity to take advantage of this disruption. We see a lot of opportunities sort of in three broad categories, right? AI for optimization, and that's the biggest use case, which is around cost, efficiency, process throughput. Sometimes that's a little hidden from the public, It doesn't seem as cool because it's in the back office, but there's a lot of operations, as Ilario just referenced, in the games and in sports, particularly in Paris and onward. There's AI for experiences, right? So that's more digital AI, how to create experiences, how to personalize experiences, and what does that mean for content and for digital? And so that will be an accelerator, I think, of the Olympic experience. And last is AI for insights. There's huge data models. And so how do you use AI to predict the future, to make decisions better, to make decisions faster, not to be exactly predict the future, right, Ilario? That's impossible, but to be agile as an enterprise to take data and react. So the level of reaction of the IOC in sports to stimulus, and there's a lot of stimulus out there in the world, right, as we know. So those are three areas where I think we can really add a lot of value with Ilario to the movement.
I think, JT, as you mentioned, and as I mentioned before, I think it's very important that we actually rely a lot on Deloitte and their experience of this, because it's such a new environment. For us, we are, yes, a very old organizations, but this is so innovative, so new, that we actually need to rely on external help, and we are glad that you guys are our top partners.
And this is a nice segue to my next question, Ilario. I know in April, IOC launched the Olympic AI agenda, which is the third strategic agenda under the leadership of President Bach. Can you please tell us a little bit more about the intent of the agenda and what is the expected impact on the Olympic movement?
Yes, thank you. For us, this, as you say, this was the third under our current president, Thomas Bach. But what was interesting is in August, we started really thinking about, okay, we have seen this growth of AI and all of the GPT-like products. And for us, it was very important to say, okay, what is the role that the Olympics, the IOC needs to have with AI? So thanks and working with Deloitte on this, we actually really defined in 6 months the Olympic AI agenda. And the Olympic AI agenda, I would say, is as we know, we knew that AI was going to disrupt the sport. And for us, we had actually three main topics. One was, okay, how can AI help us in fairness, furthering excellence, furthering equality? And so it was very, very important for us to kind of come up with this Olympic AI agenda. Olympic AI agenda has 5 topics. Naturally, athletes. Athletes are at the center of everything that we do here at the IOC and the Olympic movement. 2, it is how can we actually make sure that there is fairness when you use AI. 3rd, it is how can we use AI to actually optimize, as you asked me before, the Olympic Games. 4th, it is how, and as the JT mentioned this, the 4th topic, it is how can we use digital, and how can we have more digital experiences to actually reach more fans. And 5th, as we all know, it is how can we use AI in the Olympic administrations or any administration in the Olympic movement and actually make it more efficient. So it was really, really important. April 19 was the date. It was a great launch. And we were glad that you were there with us. And it was really well actually accepted by the Olympic movement. And there is now more requests to really understand what we're doing.
And JT, how is Deloitte going to support the AI agenda?
Well, first, as Ilario said, it was an incredible launch. It was an honor to be part of the working group with Ilario and a field of experts, right? Because it takes an ecosystem to kind of think of something so provocative. What I love about the AI agenda, it's a call to action. It says, now's the time, and old and traditional organizations also are thinking about how to modernize, right? And so it also was a tell to sports that says we have to embrace this technology because it's full of opportunities. And so it also had an ambitious sort of emotional bend to it, which I thought was great for sports, which is also quite emotional for all of us sometimes. Where I think we can help in a lot of places, and we're not the only ones that help. So I think the ecosystem concept is really important because sports is an ecosystem, and with the IOC as often some of the center of that ecosystem, it's important to democratize a bit of this technology to the world. It is a call to action, and so that means we need action. So I think the first thing we'll have to do together as a collective is determine what is the next best action. Start putting the proof points out there to say it's working, it's not working, it's okay for it not to work at first. This is how we're exploring the spaces across that continuum, as Ilario said. We'll have to address risks together. In digital particularly, as you extend that handshake with your fan, to say, I want you to be more involved and I want to create a digital experience that's personalized. You're essentially extending a handshake of trust. And once they're going to say, I trust to give my information to you and I trust that you're going to protect that information. So cyber becomes more interesting. Trustworthiness, ethics becomes more interesting. And so those are some of the points that the IOC and every corporation in the world is wrestling with right now. So I think those playbooks, those templates, industrializing some of the actions will be the very first thing we do. And then I think we need to take those and put scale. There's a concept we both have, particularly at Deloitte, is scale matters. So once we find something that works, be unafraid to scale that because it works at scale and that's when you'll start seeing the benefits. And I think the scale could be within the IOC, obviously, but also within the Olympic movement and democratizing that. So it's exciting times, lots to do in the future with the IOC.
Fantastic. And both of you mentioned that AI technology is evolving very rapidly.
Yes.
At a pace that we haven't seen in the past. And with this rapid evolution, I think there is a lot of open questions that remain in the public, I'm sure for you as well. So what are some of those questions, open questions, that you'd like to see answered in the next months or coming years?
I think, in my opinion, there will be actually questions of trustworthiness. This is one thing that we're wrestling as well. We will be doing, we are here today in Paris, but we will be doing something as well for afterwards at Paris. We will be actually looking at trustworthy and actually how to set up a framework around this because it's very important and quite dire and needed. And the second one for me is really going back to my first answer, your first question was the organizations. Organization needs to really understand that AI is here to help us, but it's not here to replace human being. If you think about it, as JT said, and it made me feel quite old before, AI has been here since 1950s. I studied it when I was in university, but it is the third, if you want, major revolution. The first time we had computers, and every organization went out and got a computer, maybe not even knowing why they needed one. Then the second one, it is when the internet and websites and everything digital got created, everybody needed to have a website. And they really didn't understand why, but they needed to have it. And third one right now for us is going to be artificial intelligence. And here it is where I think we need to be really balancing the fact that AI is here, but it's not just for cost reduction, but really optimizing all the processes and everything that you do in our organization, even one like us or the Olympic Games. So for us, this is what I'm really looking forward to really understand and work with Deloitte on this.
I mean, Ilario, I couldn't agree more with a lot of that. I mean, this is the next wave of innovation. We're seeing them come bigger and faster, and so I see that acceleration of technology. And you brought this up. I don't think it's just the technology that we're excited about that poses the biggest opportunity for us all. This really is a business disruption, a business opportunity. This technology, and AI in general, but Gen AI, when I speak of this technology, I think, and the access to large language models, the access to things we didn't have, essentially couldn't afford the access to. We had the access, but we couldn't afford it at the pace, has now sort of distributed and federated into the entire of the business. And so technology's role to navigate the business and with the business and for the business, this technology to create value and to create opportunities, and frankly, elevate the technical fluency of the business, to understand why this is needed and why it can help and what the opportunity is incredible. So leaders like Ilario and all the technology leaders out there have this incredible opportunity to sort of elevate that frame horizontally and say, we'll help you navigate this technology for opportunity. It could start in cost. About 70%, I think, of the early incubations out there are driving a cost. But I think the bigger opportunity is for that experience, that personalization, those insights. Some of the things we don't even know yet, right, Ilario? Exactly. Will be the incredible opportunities. So there's a lot to be excited about. We're excited to be on this journey. We're on this incredible journey at Deloitte. And that last point, Ilario, I want to touch on, which is, I don't think it replaces us, right? It's humans with machines, right? It's augmenting, it's supporting, it's allowing us to do the things that we should be doing. We often have that thinking and doing sort of continuum and struggle in our daily lives. I know I do personally. And so, the offset of having AI to support us, with us, I think is an incredible opportunity, and I think we're ready to embrace it.
I think you're absolutely right. And one thing that is quite important is somebody at the Olympic agenda, you were there with us, says this is changing at warp speed.
Right.
But also what the president said, this is not a sprint. Our president said this is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Well, I've been training for this marathon with you for a long time, as you know. I'm in the perfect shape for it. No, but it really is. It's an incredible opportunity, but it's also not the silver bullet. So it's part of a portfolio of technology products that all leaders will use and wield. It has to be balanced. There's a lot of excitement about it, but there's a lot of excitement about the previous technology. So all of these, I think, blend together in the portfolio of opportunities for change. And this is just the next one, and really excited about it.
Ilario, JT, thank you very much for the exchange and the great insights today. And on behalf of Deloitte, I'd like to thank the audience for being with us today. We heard very interesting themes during today's conversation around artificial intelligence and how it is impacting the world of business as well as the Olympic movement. And as mentioned, AI is going to continue to evolve, but it's not a magic wand. And the pace is really big and things are changing all the time. Having a strategic framework to adopt AI is important, but so is being agile and adaptable within that framework. And finally, you both recognize that the power of AI is here to stay, but it is a method to augment the human potential rather than to replace it. If you'd like to watch this panel playback and others, head over to our LinkedIn Live. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon.